Anybody ask chat? I'm doing fine and nothing went wrong right before the stream. Persephone, please stop trying to eat the delicious headphone. Everything is extremely fine. I definitely didn't die. Okay. It's nighttime. So I'll actually explain what happened rather than just being vague about it. I realized I had been playing off stream and I realized I had like left myself not near my base. So I'm like, oh, I better fly back before stream starts. So I flew up in the air, pointed myself in the direction of the base, and just let it go. And I was like, okay, I need to put water on for coffee because it's almost stream time. And then while I was doing that, I was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. And then I came back here. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm dead. And also, the last place I slept wasn't at my base. So I respawned back where I had been with none of my gear. Nor, because I wasn't paying attention to it, did I have any idea where my gear was. So I had to, one, walk back to my base, and then two, hope that it was somewhere around here. Luckily, it was. Luckily, it was actually not that far from my base. But it was just like, that's why the stream was a couple minutes late getting started, because I was like madly running back to my base, hoping I could get. Also, I stole some wheat on some carrots, but I think I ate all the carrots. Anyways, today's great. Today's been great. How are you? I did, in fact, only lose experience. This is true. I was actually pretty convinced that the start of this stream was going to be me. It's like, all right, chat, let's go buy a whole new set of gear. Also, I mentioned this the other day. No, I didn't mention this because I did this on Friday. I went to the shulker farm that James had set up because I needed shulkers. And I was like, all right, I'll just turn this thing on. Let it go. It ran for about 5 minutes and I got 4 stacks of shells. It is a very efficient farm, to say the least. I'm gonna need to buy bricks to start getting that. Your bow is almost an ow. Yeah, it's getting pretty low. We're gonna have to, the problem is with it is because they don't have, it has infinity, so you can't put mending on it. So it's a bit of a problem. Okay. So, but we are actually here to do stuff today. Oh yeah, this is going up on YouTube. My tale of my idiocy is going to be immortalized on YouTube forever. But first, what we need to do is we are going to finish off this stuff. Starters, I want to replace this stuff back here with stone, I think. Yeah, I think I want to replace these ones with stone. I wonder if his infinity is worth it sometimes. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. It's like it's hard to say. I think the biggest thing is that once you have the experience and enchanting set up, it is honestly a lot easier to make a bow and enchant it and have it be good for, like, how long have I had this bow? Months without having to worry about it, as opposed to having to make arrows, which require flint, which is a little tricky to find, and feathers, which requires you to have a big, like, chicken setup. Like, having to make, you have to get 64 feathers to make a stack of arrows, and it's not easy. Let's see. So we need some quartz, and we need stone brick stairs. We need stone. We are going to have to go get more of that because I think we need. No, maybe we don't need much more than that. You need stone bricks. Not need more. Yes, Persephone, I know. I know. Oh, you need our scaffolding. Okay. We're back to this again. And there. Right. You know what? That looks right. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. These ones look kind of lopsided like this, if it's quartz down here at the end, so. All right. So, how's chat doing? Have you done anything incredibly boneheaded today? I have. There we go. Ow. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay. Now, this one we need to finish off as well. I guessed it on an EDH charity stream and misplayed, and we all died. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Wait, no, yes I should. That's hilarious. I took my wife to go get some piercing she has been waiting for a couple of years and finally had built up enough nerve to get. Ooh. What did she get? It was a Maze's End death? Wait. How how does that work? Doesn't what? Oh, what I need is a bit of end stone as well. Her nipples? Nice. I did not send enough damage to the player who was about to Maze's End because I thought she still needed another turn. Oh. I thought you somehow meant you had managed to misplay Maze's End so badly you killed everyone, and I was a little confused. Here we have to do blur. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stop messing around. I know I'm going to need more. Get out of here, cat. Stone, so I may as well just go grab some. There we go. This will just be easier. Persephone, would you please stop? No. She's been a terror all day. Just make. Is get out of here, Catstone, an easy farm in Minecraft? It's a bit of a challenge, but it is at least one of the ones that you can generate infinitely, so there's that. Is that what I did over here? I was just blank up there, but I should fill that in at some point. Also, I'm definitely going to need more quartz stairs, so let's just get some of those. Let me just recheck what I have here. Huh? Uh-huh. Catstone? No, well, I was just I was doing the thing where I was talking and then had to yell at the cat. So oh, and I'm gonna need some slabs, aren't I? Hey, Fairbender. How's it going? Okay. That. That. Stephanie, no. It's just 4 slabs in a row, ain't it? Think. Not right. How is this different over here? Right, I replaced that with stairs. This, which is lab? Yes. That with okay. There was that was everything. Yes. The same. Everything's good. Yes. Great. Hunky dory. Cool. There. Finish that up. Update on the car. The dealership I left the car has claimed the issue was the battery, which is not what the AAA guys said, and will cost another $300. So my father's going to get the car on Monday, take it to our local auto place to actually solve the issue. Fair enough. Stephanie, why are you on this chair? What is she doing? What? Why? No. No, this is illegal. Stop it. Stephanie. Such crimes today. Such crimes. Okay. Done with this for now. I'm gonna grab these because I know we're gonna need them. Some of these. Cool. All right. So, next thing we need to do. That was merely step one. Is I'm going to pet the cat. Yeah. This cat, I tell you what. The next thing we're going to do is work on this. I wanted to work on this. I've had an idea for what we're going to do up here for a little while, and now I need to actually, now I get to actually do it. So for starters, let's actually replace this front row here. Whew, that was close. Because I want that to be different. I want that to be an accent. And then we're going to put nether brick fencing on top of it. So let's grab this stuff. Take it up. First, do I have any redstone? Red sandstone. Yep. How far is it? Just do this. Is this the entire chunk? Sure is. You need more red sandstone. Make some. I am running low on red sandstone again. Yeah. Wanted it to be smooth red sandstone. Let's get our stuff set up over here. So, the plan for this area, this is normally, in the actual cathedral, this is where their, like, massive, massive pipe organ is. And I didn't want to try and do that. I didn't think there was a way I could actually, like, recreate that in a way that's, you know, believable. So we're going to go for the something completely different approach. I had an idea that I wanted to make this a enchanting area. Not that I do much enchanting, but, you know, it would be something interesting to have, And I wanted to try and do it with like, make it look heckin' magical, like with a bunch of floating bookcases, lanterns, and candles, stuff like that. Also, I had a thought. Do candles float? Candles float. So I'm gonna have quite a lot of fun with this. Yo. I am going to have a lot of fun with this. Why did I come downstairs? Why don't I keep getting... Why don't I go downstairs anyways? Because I need nether brick fences. So where is my nether rack? Ah, my nose. Itchy. We did also, while I was off stream, I did build some shulker boxes for some of our like overflowing stuff. So I've got boxes of... Is this an entire box of lapis blocks? No, but pretty close. And this is an entire box of no, not quite an entire box of flint. But this should help some of it, and then we also did that for copper as well. Yeah, this is an entire box of copper blocks. So we've got a little bit of copper if we need it. Cleared out some of that stuff. I have, oh, yeah, got plenty of nether brick fence. That should be fine. Yes, Persephone. All coppers are in box. Ow. Why did I break that? Let's do and you. Okay. So, Persephone. I know. You're so hard done by, my dear sweet kitten. You're so put upon. Out. Put up fencing, you know, for protection. This isn't how we're going to normally access it. Speaking of which, there we go. The plan is to actually have staircases that run from the balcony here up through the tower to get up here. So there'll be a staircase on either side that you can use to get up here. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to take this out. There we go. Okay. Got all that for the time being. Now, what we need... Let's go make some of the stuff that we're going to need. So I know we're going to need an enchanting table, obviously. Where's my obsidian? Is it in here? There's a couple pieces of obsidian there. One of these, this one has obsidian in it. I think I needed 4. I need 1 diamond. No, I need 2 diamonds for an enchanting table, and I need a book. Book. Perfect. Also, we're gonna need some bookshelves. Yes. Anything else we're going to need while I'm here? And it is open. Don't think so. Perfect. Enchanting table. Bookshelves. I think we're going to need more bookshelves than that, though. It's 15 bookshelves for an enchanting table, I think. You get max enchants. Stephanie. Stephanie, where are you? Come here. Did you want to jump up? Oh. No. No one's here to give you treats. I know. I know. One of you? Yes, you sell bookshelves. That should be enough bookshelves to get us started. Okay. Do I have any dirt in here? Oh. A skeleton. Is there a skeleton on the roof? Skeleton? I definitely keep hearing a skeleton somewhere. I'll investigate the skeleton later. Let's go get a bit of dirt for some temporary stuff. So I wanted to try, because I want to make these bookshelves look floating. I want this to be a somewhat fanciful enchanting area. Fanciful magic. I know, outlandish. But please, go with me on this journey. Man, I probably should have fed my cat sometime this week. Huh. Right? You've never been fed. You know, the only time you ever get fed is when people give you treats. Time. Okay. The other thing we're going to have to do is figure out where we're going to put this. Because we have a bit of a problem in that we can't center it. Because this is the width of a chunk. Second chat. I need to warm up my coffee. Am I going to give Kit... I am. Today. Better. How much room do we have to work with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Let's just stick this here for now, because I wanted to figure out stuff. So if I try and use this, oh, I need to actually have something to put in there, don't I? One second. Find something. Pretty sure I've got tons of stuff in here. Go. Golden chest plate. Get some lapis in case I need some of that, just to try stuff out. Okay, so right now there's one bookcase next to it. Goes 1, 2, 3. Uh, 3, 5, 8. Okay. $30. Can I take out? Can I take out this one? 30. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, it's 15. Okay, now, so what I wanted to figure out, let's take out these ones. And this is sitting at 18. Now, if I put, can I put these above here? If I go around like this, I put bookshelves up here. Does it still recognize them? No. Persephone! You had your treats. What are you doing? No. Jump up. Here. Being very trying today, kitten. Hello. So, what have we learned? It does not recognize bookshelves that are above it. Like this. If I put one there, it still recognizes that. Now, I don't think these hurt it at all, so I can still do that. Also, how many is this? Is this the full? That gets me a full 30. I think this is actually 16, isn't it? 5, 3, 5, 16. Yes. If I could take one of these out. We've learned the enchanting table is a top, it seems. More of a side, but how do I want to do this? Because I like the idea of it not being like the usual, like, perfect circle of things around it. I can also do like that. That. Here. I know. I want attention on Saturdays. Time. I know. You haven't been cuddling with me all day at all, have you? She has been. Barely left me alone all day. Starved for attention this one. Huh? Yeah, what do you think of our book placement? Hmm? Swan. You can also do stuff like that. Even though that doesn't, like, into it. How do I want to access? I'm probably going to want it to definitely be more open from the side. Because that's the way I'm going to be entering from. Like, I'm going to be coming in here. Where are we at? I think we need to get one more down. So, no, that one's not counting right. One. Where? There. One. I have 4 axes. Come at it from any angle. Is that enough? Are we at 30? We are. Okay. We have setup I am decently happy with. Start with. Now, let's just go get a whole bunch more books and start decorating this thing. Luckily, we have money to burn. You. I'm out of money. Excuse me, Golem, please. Please. Okay. Whatever. How many of these do? Let's just crack a bunch of them. There we go. Don't need this lab. Go see about getting more of these things floating around. They don't all have to be touching. In fact, I specifically don't want all of them to be touching. I could go this. I do want to have some floating up around above here. That was why I was trying to see if I could incorporate that so I could get those to count for the enchanting levels, but apparently they don't. Got to be on these two levels down here. Okay. How are we doing? All right, I'm okay. This is kind of the idea I was going for. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Want to keep going a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. Like, I don't want it to be too crowded. But I do want it to look, you know, natural, sort of a little bit like scattershot, but fairly filled in. Ow. This is definitely the safest way to do this. Scaffolding. Ow. Now it's starting to just get tricky jumping. And now I have built myself a jumping puzzle. I have reinvented the jumping puzzle. I want a little bit more this way. One more in. As long as the entrance is good. Floating above it. No, actually, I think I'm fine with the way it is right now. let's go to sleep, and then in the light, we'll check it and see how it looks from below. Ow. Okay, I'm definitely noticing like a bit of a spacing gap, I think. So, some of our ones in, there's sort of one level in there that has almost nothing in it. So if we go here and it is going to look rad with some floating candles. I agree. I have to be careful. I have to be wary of the make sure nothing touches problem. Like I have to not be afraid to let things touch. You wanted everything to seem like floaty and disconnected, but as long as there's nothing like flat against something, if they're touching at a bit of an angle, it's okay. I want a few more over this way. No. Not there. But up one. There we go. Yeah. Are there any other obvious gaps? Don't think so. No touching orthogonally. Exactly. Like a high school dance. There's still a gap. There's a gap right there. I need to figure out how to fill it. Yeah. Okay, that one there, it needs to go over one. Yes, Persephone, I know. Yep. I think we're almost good. I'm almost happy with it. not quite happy with it yet. One right there. Or do I want that one? Ah, dang it. I need it over one. This is an interesting challenge. I'm enjoying this quite a lot. Okay. Not the least a bit, because I get to do I've made myself a fun jumping puzzle. Get one more somewhere in here. Without it being too crowded. Already fairly crowded in there. How it looks from down here. From up there, it looks good, but oh yeah, that's it. That's what I needed. No, okay. This one here, I'm going to move up a block, I think. Now I'm just being real fiddly with it. Persephone, what are you doing? This one. But from here it looks fine though. From here it looks fine. This gives the impression that a wizard used a magical whisk on these bookshelves and they froze in place. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much what I was going for. Now we can also do, we have these floating. How far over do these go? This one is 2 over, 4 over, over. Perfect. We can also have some. No, I actually kind of like that there's none at ground level beyond the ones that are actually for the enchanting table. Let's take this out. Maybe some lower ones. Like here. There. Be another one for there. Yeah. When we come in, we're coming in either this way or this way. That's a little too symmetrical for my tastes. That one. Get it there. And there. Oh no, that'll be too tight. This out. That'll also be too tight. If I move this one back down. How many are We dipped under, yeah, we're down under 30. We need to put this one back somewhere. Don't quite know where. Hey, Glonius. How's it going? Yeah, that's not the worst. Like, we have sort of one... we're going to do a solid wall. We should do it at the back. Yeah. Now everything's touching. Dang it! I mean, I could block off, like, the front of it here. Like that. Yeah. How's it, Stephanie? This is back up to 30, right? We're still... Okay, yeah, good. That's our minimum. Okay. Why does it look like a 0G in room? Magic. We're putting in an enchanting table and our bookshelves. And we want it to look magical as fuck. Persephone. Okay, now, step 2. We need some candles. And... first of all, I am going to pilfer some of the ones from here. We can go make some more as well. There, and there. We'll have to remember to light those later. We can also do candles in other colors, because we have a couple other ones here. These ones don't have to be all the same color. And also what I wanted to do is I want some Soulfire lanterns, for which I am going to need nuggets. Let's make 6 of them. And then I'm also going to need torches. Grab some coal and sticks and soul sand. Did I hide my soul sand? Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, no. Right. I just need 8 of them. 6 of them. Well, I guess if I have the 2 extra torches, I may as well make 8 of them. There we go. This while we're at it. And let's make a few more candles as well, because we do have a bit of extra string that I have acquired from spider butts. What color should these ones be? We're doing these all different colors. I feel like... let's make a few lime ones. We got a couple purple, couple lime. Let's go. We've got this magenta dye. Why don't we use some of that? Yeah, that looks good. We could keep a couple plain ones. Why not? And ooh, black candle. Black candle's always fun. Goth as hell. And then we've got one more. Oh, just a nice white candle. You can do that, right? Yeah. There we go. Bunch of different candles. All right, now go place these around. Oh, it looks so good, chat. Okay, so let's get our lanterns out first. I definitely want some like here and one over there. And then we can also hang some of the lanterns around here. Some of them can be sitting on top of ones. There we go. Hey, Max. How's it going? Get one up there. Okay, now we can start placing some candles around. We can have some of the candles down here. So if we wanted to, say, put white candle there, get some of the dirt out again. Got one there, there. Same line, aren't they? Yes. Persephone, I know, it does look good. Uh, can't really see the handles very well right now, but I need to get one here somewhere. On this line here. I got a black one left. Now I've got my 2 magentas. There. We can get one in here somewhere. In here. Persephone. There we go. All right. Now, let's see what these look like. Start lighting them. Ah, no, no. Please don't burn your cathedral down before it's even finished, Erica. I'm pretty sure that is a cathedral faux pas. It's tradition. Can we at least wait until it's finished? Also take you, and you. Hey, Dr. Hope. Any of y'all been watching Paul T. Goldman? No, I have never heard of it. I need to move one of the lanterns, I think. It's indescribable. Oh, okay. I like where all the let's move this one. That makes that corner pretty dark, but I wanted one hanging from this one. There. Nope, not that one. This one. There. Wait. Okay. All right, let's go to sleep. And then, actually, while it's dark, let's have a look at the general light level while it's dark in here, because that's important too. Because this cathedral overall is going to be fairly dark. These... I don't think there's anything spawnable, but it does get fairly dark in here. Let's go make some more lanterns. What's the spawnable threshold? 0? I saw a bit in the corner. Okay, there was a little bit. It is 0 now. I still have all the stuff to make these. That it's so much easier than trying to like count out the 8 just to like overshoot and have extras. I can always just go like this. Aha, now I have a now I got my iron bar back. Let's also go buy. Let's first of all sell some stone. Get some emeralds. And melon. Gonna be all the way back up. Yeah, everything healed up to full. The good feeling. Hello, you. Yeah? That's one in the very corner there, and then these one over here. Yep. Why don't we stick there's one right there. One. I could also get more candles. I can't actually get more candles. I don't have any. The candle right next to it there, but let's go like that. Right in the middle. The other nice thing about having it be a like chaotic mess like this it hides the fact that this thing isn't centered. Like if you look from down here, you can't tell it's uncentered. Oops. Are the lanterns actually changing the light level? Yep. If you look here, these blocks are now at 5. It's a little hard to tell because we're next to a window. But they do. Like, they are changing. They do emit light. Soulfire lanterns have a lower light level than just normal lanterns. So if you're used to normal lanterns, that is it'll be a little bit dimmer than that. But they do change it. Need some over here. There. One like that. There we go. That's pretty good. And if we need to go about hiding, I have an idea. If we need to change the light level, we have some ways to do that. I have a sneaky way we can do that. Because what we're going to do next is we are going to carpet this all. So for starters, let's figure out the way we're coming in here. So we're going to be coming in here and around here. Okay. Let's go. What do we have for carpeting? Because if we are worried about the light level, if we're putting down carpet over anything, we can hide glowstone underneath it. Because you also can't see that floor level because we put in the buttressing in the entrance hall. So if we dig up one of those floor stones and put down glowstone or a sea lantern or something like that, you won't be able to see it from below. Red carpet? I think red carpet. I think I want to do red carpeting throughout the... I'm gonna need more of it. How much more of it? Yeah, let's make 36. Should be good. We're actually probably going to need significantly more than that. But for now, that would be good, just to get an idea about... I want to go like this. Now, can I carpet in here? Or will this break it? Hold on a second. Is this not... Okay, yes, it does break it. Ooh! Yeah, if I put stuff in... If I put that in there... Oh, it does. Okay. Yep. I've returned with the forbidden dessert. I have to leave this space blank. This space left intentionally blank. Come in like this, and then we can get... Ah, dang it. And then that's not disrupting it, right? No. Because it just cares if there's stuff between it and the bookcases. I am, in fact, off by 1. Well, that's fine. I need a lot more anyways, because I actually wanted this to come over... probably not all the way. Actually, maybe... I think just over to here. You could change the actual floor blocks in there. Yes, actually, I could. I could make them wool. Although I think we are going to need to make more red wool because we're actually kind of low on it. Do that. Don't have any red dye. I'm actually going to need more than that. But let's get the just see how it looks with the floor blocks. Like there may be like a bit of a dip here. What I mean? There's all blocked in. Yeah, so there's a tiny bit, and actually if we go all the way over, put stuff here, it's probably going to be a lot more noticeable. Yes. I also wanted to do Okay, that time I was off by 2. Do it like that. On this side. I'd actually be tempted to do a different color. Yeah? Yeah, you're not wrong. You could do that. There isn't a good thing for digging up wool, is there? Nope. This? Nope. Maybe it's a hoe. Could do magenta. Cheers. Okay, I suppose that makes sense. You have some magenta. How much magenta wool do we need? Oh, the magenta wool is very bright. What if we go... Can I make a light magenta? What if I... Can I make a light purple? No. I can just make regular purple, though. Maybe we'll just do that. Red and purple look well together. I have 4 of them. We need 8 of them. That sure wasn't enough, Erica. That sure wasn't enough. Purple is a wizardly color. Yeah. Oh, that's not it. That one. Yep. Nope. Not that. Oh, wait, yes. Yes, that. Aha. And then we also need some more. Let's just get all of that carpet. There we go. Mostly because purple dye is expensive IRL. It is. It was. Now, here. Go. I was off by 1, but in the other way this time. Four, 5. Yeah, okay. Can't center it anyways. I was like, do I want to move this back by 1? No. No, that would screw up way too many things. Although I may want to actually make more... Do I want it to go all the way out? Right now, do I want to carpet this whole place? Maybe I might leave this. I might actually put in something here to hide the fact that this is just the outside wall. do a row of stairs or something on the row next to the window. Yeah, I could do something like that. But I do think I want yeah, okay. Well, we're out of wool. So let's go find some sheep. Make it look centered. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Cheers. All right, where are my rockets? It's gonna be a lot easier to go sheep hunting if I have rockets. Maybe not take just 7 rockets. I'm astounded that worked. Can I dye wool that's already a different color than white? I can't remember. I'll leave that one. You can keep your fur. Yes? All right then. Got bad news for you, sheep. I'm coming for you. Might have to dye it back to white first. Yeah, I can't remember. We'll figure it out. Do you have lapis in your inventory? I don't. I mean, like, I could grab a flower here or something. Nope, apparently not. I probably have to dye it back to white. Here. Uh, I'm not gonna go for the wet sheep over there. I love that they're wall-eyed. They're so adorable. All right. We're gonna have lots of wool and lots of naked sheep. It'll be perfect. Everything will be right in the world. Oh, look at that horse. Chat. Can you see this majestic horse? Wet sheep sounds like a Scottish expression for someone who's no fun at parties. Scottish or New Zealand? I feel like it's one of those. It's one of the phrases that Scottish immigrants to New Zealand would have brought with them. Hey, I need to finish this at some point. Free eggs while I'm over here, why not? I don't think there's any sheep over this way. If these sheep grown their wool back already, or are these different sheep? Yeah. The least you could have done, sheep, is brought your wool down with you. Do everything around here. Okay, how much we got? Oh, 44. Plenty. All right. Okay, so for starters, let's grab our white dye. Make... Actually, can I not do this? Can I not? Can I apparently not dye these? Or is there something else I need? Maybe I can't. All right, then. That could be why I have some of these in here. Okay. More red dye. Like 10. Oh, 11. Maybe it was a mod that lets you do that? Oh, probably. That sounds like mods. Oh, right, of course this isn't going to work. It's a chunk. Need 16 more. Well, I'm actually going to have to make 18. You know what? Where's my bone meal? Bone meal in here? Oh. That was more bone meal than I expected to get out of that, but that's fine. I'm running low on red flowers anyways. Let's just go make a whole bunch of them. Time is it? Oh, 7:40? Jeez. Okay. You know what? Actually, before we do that, let's take a break. Been going for quite some time. All right. I'm gonna take a break. You should take a break too. You should stretch, get some water, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds to rest your eyes, and I'll be back in just a few minutes, so hold tight, chat. Nope. I certainly appreciate your sacrifice, Max. All right. That's looking very good. So Max came over last night and we were playing some Kill Team. And, you know, I lost, which is, whatever. But I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, my Kill Team, for those of you who are not aware, is just demonettes. It's literally just a set of 12 demonettes. So the Chaos Demons kill team, how it's divided up is that it's actually just all of the Chaos Demons. You can just take one fire team from each of them, 6 of each of them. And it's one of the, what's called the Compendium, which is just their very simple rules for everything. So you can run, whatever faction you play in 40K, you can run some of their infantry as a kill team. It's a great tool to be able for them to be like, cool, whatever you got, you can run, or anything that strikes your fancy, without having there to be a specific kill team for it, which is great. But the Compendium ones are generally a little bit weaker than some of the other ones. These do I need? That should be enough. You know what? Let's make one more so I have an even amount. They're generally a little bit weaker. Perfect. Okay. But I mean, there are some there that are quite good. So it's not like it's in the Compendium, it's bad. But of the ones that are in the Compendium, the Chaos Demons are probably one of the weaker ones. And I'm pretty sure the Demonettes are maybe the weakest of the 4 demons that you can select for it. Meaning that I am possibly running one of the worst kill teams in the game. It is entirely possible I am actually just running one of the worst ones. Chaos Demons got done real dirty in this edition. I mean, I feel like Chaos Demons generally don't get quite enough love in 40K. I feel like they're more... They see more use as like a supplement to like Chaos Marine armies, I think, more often than not. Which is, again, it's a bit of a shame. Okay, so we got this over here. Neat, huh? That looks good. I like having the carpet going all the way over here, all the way over here. And then if we put in, what do we want to put in here? I have to take up, let me take up some of this for a second so I can get my stone cutter and shulker box down. Hey, Madam Jund. Only flamers were good and they just got the nerf bat betwixt the eyes. To be fair, my understanding is flamers earned that. What do we want to do here? We want to go red sandstone stairs running along here. Or something else. Here's some turn-in stats they use for a balance pass. Oh yeah, that was the last one. Their last one they published back in, yeah, this is from September. Yeah, Compendium. They just put all of the Compendium ones together, and they're at a 40% win rate. Second from the bottom. But There was also a meta watch that came out um, this week, and then it included an interview with the lead designer from the team. And he was saying that because the kill team community is fairly small, and let's break that. Aha. Those stats can get skewed very quickly. Like he was saying, having like one player who is very good with a particular team and puts up very good numbers with it can actually start to skew the data a little bit. So I think part of that might just be that there is generally just not a lot of people who run the compendium teams at a tournament level. I want 2 of these. I want 14 of these. I mean, I think tournament rates are a perfectly fine thing to balance around, because tournaments are what you care the most about making sure the rates are good. Like it's the environment where if something is off, it can really have a big impact. And also the other thing is that their way of balancing the compendium teams is to ignore them more than anything. That happens to Space Marines in 40k. So many new players start with them that it drags the numbers down. Yeah. Where is the Intercessor squad on this list? Oh, this one doesn't actually have it on there. Because they were actually, in the interview I was watching the other day, they were saying that was actually the most popular faction, the most popular kill team. Again, because Space Marines are the most popular 40k faction. It's just it's able to be popular because people just have Space Marines. I think I want one more. There. Fills in a bit of a gap. Space Marines being the most popular faction is a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh my god, I can't believe our poster boy is popular. Who'd have thunk it? I don't like that these stop. Okay. This going back here, I want this. Let me see. I want one. Frish. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, yeah. Let's see how this looks from here. Mm. The eh, eh. Please, I want to be free. Oh, speaking of Warhammer, I didn't think I didn't show these off yet. These came in the mail the other day. Eh? 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 To quote a G from a guy from a Beer Fest G vlog, the line is long, therefore the line gets longer. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, all the Crusaders are here. The pretty sisters. God, I love the design of the sisters so much. It's very cool. These are the first Warhammer books I've ever owned. Technically, I don't even own the core rulebook. I'll wait until we probably get a new one in the fall. They're great. Like I said, collecting books and reading books, like collecting Warhammer and playing Warhammer, two different hobbies. All right, that's a little better. You know what, chat? I think I'm happy with this. I think I'm happy with how this thing turned out. I want one candle right there. I'm happy with how this turned out. I need to change something immediately. There's this one right here. If I moved you down... If I just moved you over one. Just went... right there. You know. Perfect. See? Let's go... centered. Very good. I wish GW would move to an all online rule set and just make the books fluff and pictures. I could see that. Well, I think considering they have the 40K app, um, I think what they should do is they should leave them how they are, like with the data sheets and all of the rules and stuff like that. But what they should do is also, if you just want the rules, you can get those through the app. All right. Let's clean up our inventory because we've accumulated a large amount of stuff. And then we need to figure out what we want to do. Go back in here. Can go in there. This can go in there. Put these back. I don't need that many stacks. Actually, I don't need these in here. There. Will, however, put this stack of dirt in there because that's useful to have. Okay, let's go put the rest of this stuff away. Hey, Cass. How goes the building? Ooh, I'll show you what we built. First of all, we did this. We finished off the entryway. It's all looking good. Got banners. We've got candles. Looking great. And then we also built an enchanting area. Ta-da! We got floating candles. Apparently candles float, which is freaking awesome. And we've got lanterns everywhere. Unfortunately, lanterns don't float. So I had to make do with those. You know what I could also do is I could also use a bit of chain to drop those some of the lanterns if I wanted to, just to vary things up. Like, because those two there are at the same. So if I wanted to drop this one down by one, I could. But actually what I should do is... my stuff away. That's what I was going to do. We're done with that. Don't think I've ever seen anyone do an enchanting area like that. I want to, yeah, like I hadn't really seen it either. Mind you, I am by no means someone who consumes a lot of Minecraft content, so I imagine someone somewhere had done it, but need these eggs. I can get the wool put away. Holds here. Hole we can put away. Sticks can go away. Yeah, there we go. My shears away. This gold test chest plate can go away. Actually, can I just combine these two? Let's just do that. Why not? Close enough. Maybe not perfectly efficient, but whatever. Go there. Rockets can go in there. Yeah, the people I watch tend to dig 16 by 16 holes a lot. My exposure is very niche. What if you waste a single iron and one flint? We forgot something. We forgot the two most important parts of an enchanting area, which are of course the anvil and the whetstone. Or grindstone, I mean. I think it's a slab? Do I have a stone slab? I do. Probably from the last time I made a grindstone. And I think I need sticks again. 1 anvil and... what do I need for grindstone? Oh, I need wood blocks. Here we go. Love to check notes, put books on an anvil. I remember that's like the first time in the way back in the first season, literally almost 2 years ago. We built a library on one of our chunks to be an enchanting area. If you want to, you can go to my YouTube channel. Hold on, I got a command for this. Hold on. Oh my vowels. Oh my vowels. YouTube. Go. I have all of my VODs up there, and that should be up there if you want to see me do what was probably a very bad stream. All things considered. But I do that. And I remember when I was building that, it's like, ah, yes. Nothing says quiet library like a grindstone. I wouldn't be surprised if my local public library had a forge. Public libraries got everything. Visit your local public library. Where am I going to put these? Like hide them anywhere, can I? Although I could. Whoops. Nope. I go like this, like that. I stick the lantern on top of it. Yes. Probably do the same for the grindstone as well. Can you get sandstone underneath them? The red sandstone? Yeah, I should be able to do that. Yep. I'm not going... Okay. I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to take the anvil out first, because I know if I try and dig that out, it's just going to fall down. And dude, haha, perfect. Oh, that looks good. Honestly, you know what? As a lantern stand, grindstone's not half bad. Not a half bad lantern stand. Anvil's a little obvious, though. We want to turn it. Like, do we want to do it this way? Actually, like a little robot. That does look like a little robot. Kind of looks like an end table. It does. And if you turn the anvil, this kind of looks like one as well. Like, I think if you weren't looking too closely at them, you wouldn't notice. Which is the point. Also, I just realized an added benefit of all of this carpet. This area is now spawn-proof. So it doesn't matter what the light level is. I mean, I still want it to be sufficiently lit, but actually, while it is nighttime, how does this look from the outside? You can kind of see it a little bit. You can see some of the things floating up. You probably won't be able to really see much here once we replace the rose window with stained glass. These ones are going to stay clear though, so. But you got like a little bit of light spilling out of there. I think that looks good. Hi, bees. Help, I'm trapped in a bee. I was just thinking, chat. I wonder. I want to hide. Let me see if I can get some. At this point, I don't want to start any major projects. So I think the rest of the stream is just going to be me running around going like, what else can I do? What other like little touch up quality of life stuff can I do around here? Did you end up using that chain? Not yet. But I was thinking, what if I grab my scaffolding again? Add a tiny bit of glow lichen here? There. Perfect. Oh, that's just perfect. It adds just that tiny amount of light. You can see it, but it's just enough light. There's plenty of other stuff like the towers. I want to try and find a way to get those lit up more. So when you're, you know, especially on the front facade, I want this overall at nighttime to be fairly well lit. And you see like up, I've kind of started doing that like up at the top here. There's a bunch of like glow lichen and sea lanterns hidden up there. And I did it around the front as well. With the sort of like, I just put sea lanterns just in the floor, sort of to act like spotlights. I want to try and find, you know, places like that. Even if it's just something like hiding, oops, stuck in a block. Glow lichen sort of around, like here, or like over there, sort of thing. These windows are probably going to have glass in them at some point, so I can't stick stuff in there. Let's go use that chain though while I'm thinking about it. What was it? This one? This and like that. There we go. That a tiny bit of like extra visual interest in there, because we got like some hanging down, some are up, some are sitting on top of them. Some of the candles are here, some of the candles are floating. I could even see like getting more candles in here putting like 2 on there or something like that. Yeah, go this way. Okay, well, that was actually much faster than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to take like very long, but now I'm sort of like, well, what else do I do? You know what? Actually, you know what I can do? Let's get that out of there. Grab this. Grab our stairs. We can try and figure out how to get this. Oops. Okay. We need to get our, if we get our, put our stairs in now, so we know what we are going to end up having to build around when we put in the stuff down here. Why don't we go? We'll just use end stone for now because why not? We can always change these later, and I probably will. I don't want there to be as much end stone on the interior as there is right now. A lot of that was just put in as, fill. Because it was cheap and plentiful. So a lot of the stuff like around the floor here, obviously some of these are like exterior walls, so I can't change them. But wherever I can, I plan on switching it out for other materials. That works pretty well. And I think still gives us lots of room to work with down here. And the stairs, we can actually cheat a little bit. Because basically none of this is going to be, this is all going to get blocked in. With the wall of the tower, so you're not going to see any of that. So we could definitely cheat a little bit if we need to. Yeah, that works. Just gonna take a torch there for now, just so it's no chance of anything spawning. I'm fine. How many stairs was that? 6, 9. Oh, hardly any at all. 15. All right, let's go do that on the other side too. Oops. Use scaffolding. Correct amount, 1, 2, 3, yes. Yes. And I'm out of endstone. Enough. I have enough stairs to finish this, so worried about that. Yep. I will also have to figure out actually from here we are going to have to put in another staircase. We're going to have to figure out a way to get up to the bell towers from the interior. Currently, there isn't a way to do that. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that at some point. Spiral staircase. We could do a spiral staircase. I like the idea of it ending with a ladder climb up, though. I do like the idea of this being like a little bit fancier. Maybe we'll get some of that red carpet. Although, I really wish you could put carpet on stairs. I don't know why you can't. Bell tower should have a ladder. Yeah, right? Like, I feel like the area above this, it should switch over to being like wood beams, like cross beams sort of supporting the tower. And then like from here, it goes over and there's like, maybe there's like one ladder that goes up to like a landing and then goes over and another ladder going up or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Beams and ladders. Magpie sees it. Hey, Electra. How's it going? Hey, Snow Buddy. Hey, Rock Pusher. Ah. Oh. 8:30, huh? It was a long one today, huh? Well, I suppose for anybody who's just joining us, I should show you what we've been up to today. What ran long? My friends run a Twitch channel called Loading Ready Run, and one Saturday a month they do a live variety show. So called Loading Ready Live. So they run that on Saturday. So it's usually sometime around like 7:45 or something like that. People start filtering into my chat when it's over. So there's usually like a big rush of people all at the same time. Like Lord Zorano there. Hello. Hold on. Electra, not super great. My mom had a stroke and I'm getting on a plane in a few hours to go help out. They do expect she'll make a good recovery time. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, strokes are hard and strokes are very scary. So I hope she is doing okay. Hey, Legodrit. So first thing we did on the stream today is we finished off the entryway. We got this side over here, and we just sort of cleaned up a couple of things to make it a little bit more symmetrical. But this thing is looking pretty good, and I'm quite happy with it. And then we decided we wanted to build an enchantment area. Oh, have a good night, 2 steps. So we did. A little bit more than that. You're able to talk to her on the phone. Oh, that's good. That's really good. We built an enchantment area. And we like the idea of it being sort of like chaotic and magical with like floating bookcases and candles and lanterns everywhere. And this is plush carpeting. This is in place of, in the actual cathedral, this is where the pipe organ would be. So I wanted something like sort of big and grand and fancy, but like there was no way I was going to be able to build a pipe organ. But figured we'd do this. It does do 30 level enchantments. I made sure there was enough stuff down around it in the middle and nothing blocking it. Also, we figured out candles float. So that's cool. That's neat tech. Need a redstone music box contraption to play Mars, Bringer of War. If you want to send me a tutorial on how to do that, sure. I have absolutely no idea how to make a redstone music box do anything, let alone Mars, Bringer of War. But I am super happy with how this turned out. Now though, now what do I want to do? Now what do we do, Chad? Oh, we built staircases going up either side of it. So this is how you actually access the enchantment area. These will be all closed in inside the towers. But this is actually how you get to it. And I made sure everything's lit up and it should be spawn proof. I don't think, okay, hold on a second. 10 mobs spawn on bookcases. I think these are all lit up enough that it's not that big of a deal. Also, we made ourselves a fun jumping puzzle. So that's neat. You know what? Just for extra safety. There we go. Just in case. I wasn't sure if that one was quite bright enough, but the rest of these, what are we looking at? 6. This one over here is 6. Yeah, all of these. Wait. Not on the right one. 6. Wait. 5. Yeah. These are good. You know what, chat? I think it's 8:30. I don't have much else to do for the stream. So I think I'm actually just going to go dig a hole. I don't have any ideas for other projects I want to get started on right at the moment, so I figure best move is to just hang up the hat for the day and go back to the old hole. Then we'll start next Saturday. We'll start on something a new project. It looks so fucking good. The other loadout, the Deep Slate one? Oh yeah, are we down to Deep Slate already? Old-timey anthropomorphic steam horn blows in distance. Take off the construction hat, then put it back on because it's our digging safety hat. We really just have the one hard hat. Ooh. Actually, before we do this, we should actually take care of this first. How's this actually... Ooh, that's a little empty. Maybe we'll fill that up. Alright, have a good night, Madam Jund. I was really hoping I would get a chance to do some painting today. Unfortunately, it never panned out. I just was not feeling very well. I had just a really, really nasty sore neck. Collapse those. Let's get these in. So it was just kind of... it's not the state that I really want to do painting in. It's like I have a headache and a sore neck. This is not a good... It's not a good idea to sit hunched over a desk. I was really hoping to find some gold in the river today, but sadly that didn't pan out either. So, hopefully I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. So, hopefully I should be better by tomorrow. I want to add more in there. I think it's fine for now. But maybe I'll try and remember to do that. Rock Pusher, hello. Welcome back for 23 months. Also, I have a reminder that time is a thing that horrifyingly keeps happening. Yeah. We were talking earlier about how I was talking about something that had happened on like my second stream ever or something like that back in February of 2021. You can see it too on YouTube. There. I also have, I've been like, okay, gotta get back into the habit of it. So I've got the stream from January 1st should be up there now. The stream from last weekend should be there soonish. Like, it's in the back end. It's just processing stuff right now. Oh, 30. Whoops. And I'll probably have to do the oh, this is 29. Wait, yes. Right, negative numbers go down. Hey, Iris. How's it going? But you could do another one. Erica. Man, I'm out of practice. I think I would be better at this. But yes, I definitely want to get moving on my Tyranids. I would at least. I started painting the Hormigons, but once I have a few of those under my belt and am happy, like, with the paint scheme, I may switch over and try painting the Warriors. Hey, Margie. Because I would like to try and get them. They're sort of what's stopping me from actually just, like, playing them. Like, I would have played them last night, but I would have played them last night, but they're currently not fully assembled. I had not attached the arms to them, so I could paint them as a sub-assembly, because if I put the guns on them, they would be very difficult to try and paint. But it feels weird to me to be playing with models that aren't even, like, at the very least, fully assembled, so I might try and get those done so I could at least start playing with them, even if I don't, like, have all of my gaunts fully painted or something like that. I've never played Warhammer. How many people are usually participating in a game? Usually just 2. It's usually just a 2-player game. RG, thank you for gifting that sub to Lagadrit. Speaking of crafty thing, I finally updated on the project I shared last week. This is what the CAD for it looks like now. Okay, interesting. What, explain to me again what this is for? I don't remember. Nor was entirely sure I understood when you explained it the first time. Electronics does tend to be the kind of thing that just sort of goes a little over my head. Oh boy. Yeah, oh, sorry. What I meant to say was, of course, I remember what it is and what it's for, but for people in chat who might not know, please explain it to them. splits one electrical power outlet into 4 and adds protection to each of the 4 outputs. To power all of the networking equipment I have that's powered on plus 12 volt power, so they can use 1 power outlet for all of it instead of 4. Ah, okay. May or may not be learning how to make rhythm games for the Sandworm game. Oh my god, it's happening. I was thinking the same thing, Farabender, but then I'm like, there's probably stuff in there to make sure that all of the stuff is running at the same level of power and that you're not getting like voltage drops by splitting it across, 4 different things. But then again, I also barely know how electricity works. So it's tiny elves, right? It's tiny elves in the wires pushing electrons along. Magic smoke. Ah, yes. Gnomes. Gnomes are a type of elf. I just know the orbs with minus signs written on them involved. Give me your fancy shoes. Ha! He gave me his fancy shoes. What are those? What are they? Feather falling unbreaking? Not bad. Power strips work off main/AC electricity. Mine is meant to be right before the networking electronics in question and split low voltage DC instead. Otherwise, in concept, sure, similar to a power strip, but with per output protection. Okay. That makes That makes sense. Because I figured if it was just a power strip, you wouldn't have been putting so much work into custom building something for it. It's like, yeah, I kind of suspect there's something more going on there. Using my intuition, I believe I can divine that there's maybe something else going on there. That's why batteries are heavier when they're charged. They're full of gnomes. Of course. I'm gonna put this here. I watched the original video for one of those and I'm not sure I get it. I don't even think I've seen the original video. It is, as the kids say, A mem. Meme. Yeah, Margie RG. Sorry, I think we were in the middle of talking, but yes, Lagojit. Please enjoy your Doot and your Persephone and your Bee and your Thumbs Up and your Fox Heart and your Pun Trophy and your Treats and your Crams and your Safety. I joined an SMP today and helped to dig out a massive underground space for somebody's big project. Each play is truly a pain to mine. It is. I mean, that's part of why I use a beacon for Deep Slate, is it makes it just a little bit better. I always forget about emotes because I use Twitch chat over IRC, but that's the whole. That's like half the fun of Twitch chat. More than that, like 75% of what makes Twitch chat good is emotes. Man, can you imagine Twitch chat without emotes? Fire. We would have to use emoticons again. Yeah, we would have to use the tiny regular emojis. No one wants to use those. We have emojis at home. So chat, what's new with you? What's shaking? What's hip? What's happening? How's your weekend going? Got anything coming up next week? Startup Rogue Legacy 2. Nice. I have not played any of the Rogue Legacy games. Roommate painted the bathroom pink. Is that good? Bad? Neutral? Back when displays were 800 by 600, those emoticons were pretty decent size. I mean, it's not so much like it's specifically Twitch chat makes regular emojis very like smaller than their emotes, specifically so people don't use them. Windows has a whole emoticon keyboard. Win Plus. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Win Plus period. Or it's also like Win Plus like semicolon does the same thing. Yes. Oh god. Oh god. There we go. We had a really good session of Dark Ages Vampire today. I'm starting to get the hang of my, for lack of a better term, girl boss character. The proposed contract for my workplace passed 18 to 1. Nice. I believe I've gotten all the material back I need for a project I've been working on. So, starting on Tuesday, I can start digging into, because I sent it off to people for feedback and notes. So I can start digging into that on Tuesday and get stuff sort of ship shape. And then we have to present it to the higher ups to try and get everything approved. Diamonds. We found diamonds. What do we want? $11.5. Let's do the split as 11.5. Finally took the Christmas tree down and replaced the light bulb I didn't know was out. Nice. In the feet balls, large men lost to patriotic birds. Is that good? Approval from higher ups, the worst part of any project. Pretty much. It's really just like one part of it that we need approval on. Everything else is pretty much our domain. But there's one thing we should probably run past the assistant director. Just to be sure. Depends on who you're rooting for. Well, who are you rooting for? It's the expected feetball outcome. Neither. Okay. The 86 Mets. Who would win in a game of football? The 86 Mets or the dream team? What was that? Like 90? Was it the 92 or the 96 Olympics? 92? Yeah. Coach Ditka. Somehow Michael Jordan. Correct answer is Jeff Gordon. Is Jeff Gordon still racing? I feel like he is. Predictions closed, so let's grab this and let's go back up. Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay, at least one of those was a 1. But, you know, we're still viable here. Yeah, there we go. The Atlanta Falcons, who blew a 28-3 lead. Woof. Jeff Gordon retired in 2015, according to Google. Okay. I mean, I figured he would be like getting up towards that retirement age, but I mean, NASCAR drivers can generally go a lot. They can sometimes be a lot older than some other athletes. Ah. Here, let's have some fun. Get back here, Enderman. Stop moving around. Yeah. Oh. Let's see. I need to refill this. Here. That Enderman knows what he did. Oh, also I have a box of flesh now. Peshman not paying out today. Oh yeah, we had 15. Whoops. Totally. I got so distracted by trying to blow up an Enderman, I completely forgot. Have a good night, Lygodrit. Yeah, the Enderman survived. Endermen are super tough. Like, I did not expect it to die from a creeper explosion. Oh, wait, a bit of grapple in there still. We got 15. Yeah. He teleported. Yeah, what happened was, but he also fell a little bit. Because it definitely sounded like he fell when he hit the ground. Ooh, bunch of stuff in here. Do that. My lights did the thing I scheduled them to do at midnight and scared the bus out of me. Now I need a 50s ad read about how every housewife needs a flesh cube to be a good hostess. You know what I need to do is actually go to sleep. So excited to get back to my hole. Gitter B. Fade Rutha, Ang B, Lyndon B. Johnson, Persephone B, Morbius, Town Cake, Beethoven, Mavis Beacon, nice. Help I'm Trapped in a Bee, Jack B. Lantern, Paul N, 2B, 10,000 Bits, Kilogram Cake, New Mouse. I'll get excited about holes. It's true. Do, in fact, I'll get excited about holes. Bye. Oops. I remember starting a burn of a CD in our 2006 apartment, then went to bed. Turns out the software made like this happy circusy music when it finished the burn, blasted right out of our echo-filled living room. God, remember burning CDs? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Remember optical drives? That was the thing we had before we had vinyl records, right? That's what old people used before we had vinyl. Remember having to burn 3 different CDs because for some reason the CD player in the car wouldn't read them? It's sad because it's almost right. Neither my work computer nor my home pre-built computer has DVD drives anymore. Mine doesn't either. There's been a couple of times my friend Stacy, like I've said, like, oh, I should watch this movie, and she's like, I have it on DVD if you want to borrow it. I'm like, don't have a way to watch it. It was wax cylinder, optical drives, Zunes, then vinyl. Remember stealing the in Lutus Sheets note and then bringing them back to your part? Literally painting mini bards right now. Nice. If I remember correctly, each Ravager is given a Zune for music purposes. I'm excited for Quantumania. It'll be interesting. Especially because they really are setting it up as like the kickoff for their next big, like, Avengers arc. Where they're actually going to, like, properly introduce Kang the Conqueror. Although I'm frankly astounded that the last time they were announcing projects, they didn't announce a Young Avengers TV show. It was like, I would have sworn that's what you were setting up, but apparently not. You just happen to have all of those characters just around. I assume Young Avengers will be a movie. I would assume so too, but they've announced all of their movies for the next few years. So unless they're intending it to be, you know, sometime after I just need my blade. Uh, I would also like to see the Blade movie. We'll see. You gotta bring back Del Toro. Ooh. Oh. Oh god, I don't know if Del Toro would like working on a Marvel movie at all. The fact that they're steadily introducing Young Avengers is definitely coincidental. Well, that's the thing. It's like as they were starting to introduce um them, it was like, okay, they seem like they're setting up for like a Young Avengers type thing. And then they announced like, here are all of our TV shows and movies for phase 4 and 5 or whatever. 5 and 6, I think. And it's just like, that's no Young Avengers. And I was like, that's actually honestly surprising. Could be an interesting choice for Doctor Strange. I don't know. I don't think Doctor Strange. I think Del Toro would be a good choice for some. I'm trying to think what would be a good Marvel movie for Guillermo del Toro to direct. I'm not really sure. Swamp Thing? Oh, is Swamp Thing one of them? I can't remember. Who did they got? Wiccan, Speed, Hawkeye, Patriot, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man. Yep. Giant-sized man thing. Marvelous man thing. But I mean, it's Guillermo del Toro. If you're getting Guillermo del Toro in, you probably want to let him flex his creature design muscles. Like, that's why you get Guillermo del Toro to direct a movie. So it doesn't have to be like super horror-y, but something with those sort of like slightly subtly creepy vibes. And he can also do a fair amount of like whimsy as well. This isn't a bad fucking base point. Oh yeah. Wait, isn't that the one from isn't that the creature that was in Werewolf by Night, right? That's the thing from Werewolf by Night? I think Infinite doing tourism would make a nice series of shorts. I know nothing about Infinite beyond having played it in Marvel Snap. Like, I'm not familiar with the character at all. Yes, it is. Okay. That makes sense. Have not seen Werewolf by Night. Is it worth seeing? I think it is. It's also only like an hour long. It's just a special. It's good. It's fun. It's got like old school horror vibes. Basically, he's super duper fucking huge and he wants to visit our universe, but he's so big it causes issues. Ah. It's a movie? More like a 1 hour special. It's literally just like they actually have like a special presentation card They added cigarette burns to mimic old film. It's very good. Like the little touches. The one disappointment I have with it is that they didn't go whole hog on sticking to practical effects. Mind you, Man-Thing is maybe a creature that would have been very difficult to do practically. But given what it does in the film, I feel like you could have. I would have liked them to see it do it as much practically as possible. Obviously, in any modern movie, there's tons of stuff that you know, cheat in, like green screening and compositing to just do like set extensions and things like that, which is fine. But I think doing like Guillermo del Toro's Silver Surfer, watch that dude go around different weird planets and see strange, terrifying shit to appease Galactus. Ooh. Like I think Guillermo del Toro would be something very good for something cosmic. I think if you were going to get him in, cosmic would be the way to go. Late BNF? All right, cool. I mean, so they did there was a Fantastic Four movie that had the Silver Surfer in it, right? Like way back in the day, like their first pass at the Fantastic Four. And wasn't it Doug Jones? Yeah, it was played by Doug Jones. Can we just get Doug Jones back? Galactus was a cloud. Oh, what if? Okay, what if you had a Marvel movie that had, you know, a bunch of weird monsters and Galactus and all sorts of freaky stuff, but it's actually just Squirrel Girl? What if Guillermo del Toro directed Squirrel Girl? I've been watching the Playframe playthrough of Tunic. And if you're not familiar with the game, it's very similar to like old school Zelda game. Vaguely Horror Squirrel Girl sounds legitimately amazing. Like vaguely horror, but it's still just Squirrel Girl. Like there's all of this horrible stuff, but Squirrel Girl is just going into it as Squirrel Girl. Vaguely Horror Girl. Just Squirrel Girl no selling all of this horrible things around her. And just making friends. The one downside to doing a Squirrel Girl movie is that in the current MCU is that you can't have Squirrel Girl hassling Iron Man all the time, which was honestly one of the best parts of the comics. That's what Ironheart is for. I feel like Squirrel Girl and Ironheart would have a very different vibe. I think I think they would get along great. But I don't think you would have the same Squirrel Girl was definitely somebody who like really wanted to be an Avenger. And they like kind of let her do some stuff, but she was like they mostly just kind of put up with her. Iron Man appears only via exasperated text messages from heaven. But I remember there was a comic where she went to the moon. And she did that by stealing one of Iron Man's suits. And her squirrel friend, Tippy Toes, was just in one of the gloves. It was just flying around. It was just like in one of the repulsor gloves. It was great. God, if you haven't listened to it, there's a they did a podcast a while ago. I'll get to those diamonds when I finish this thought. It's it was very good. It was like a sort of radio play style of Squirrel Girl and all of the characters from like the Ryan North run when he was writing for it. So like Boy Boy, Chipmunk Hunk, Doreen, Brain Drain, all of them. And it's very good. It's so good. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. What's it called? I'll try and remember the name of it. It's short. It's like 6 episodes. They sort of did it as like a little mini series. Squirrel Girl, the Unbeatable Radio Show. Let's do this. Prediction, 3.5. I like 3.5 for only seeing one. There was an old Marvel-themed Diablo game, Marvel Heroes, and Squirrel Girl just summoned just a metric ton of squirrels. That's Squirrel Girl. Powers of both Squirrel and Girl. Makes me think of the ult I did for Walnut and Idle Champs. It's a very good ultimate. I originally had more, but it lagged too much for production. It's like, what is the most small mammals I can get on screen at one time before I break the game? Ooh, people are pretty optimistic on this one. What if Guillermo del Toro did a Beta Ray Bill? I'm just trying to think of cosmic characters. Beta Ray Bill or Adam Warlock just doing cosmic crap. Oh, that would be good. Predictions closed. Ooh, only one. There's two. Oh, I think we might be good. There's at least 4 there. Yep, we got 7. I really hope for the Fantastic Four movie that they just really lean into the cosmic side of things. I feel like we need I want more cosmic MCU movies. Those are different. We will do that when we get back down. You know what? Actually, let's just start it now. Let's run it back. Let's run 3.5 again. We can see 1. I just want more Kirby dots. I too want more Kirby dots. Kirby dots and Kirby hands. Kirby hands versus life feet. Oh man, playing Marvel Snap, you can so pick out the characters that were designed by Rob Liefeld. It's so obvious. Just every time you see Cable, it's just like, that is the most Rob Liefeld design I've ever seen in my entire life. And like, they're not drawn by him. Because their base ones are all drawn by their internal artists, but like he had such a specific like character design that he sort of gravitated towards. If you ever see a Marvel character that has like 70 pouches for some reason, probably a Liefeld. Feet look wrong and there's so many pouches. The man loved pouches and hated feet. The pouches are for stacks. I have a 16 pack. Yeah, but it's like that and like I think Forge as well. I think Deathlock was originally a Rob Liefeld design. Thanks for the follow. But Cable was the one that always jumps out for me. It's just like, ugh. Also, is this character literally just a man with a gun? Deadpool? Oh yeah, Deadpool was originally a Liefeld, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, not a lot of people, especially looking at Marvel Snap, it's like, man, not a lot of people have any body fat. I do appreciate that everybody gets abs. I was looking at the one for Yondu, it's just like, yep, that's definitely not based on, oh god, why am I blanking on the actor's name? Matthew Roker? Is that it? Michael Roker. Michael Roker. Yes. But it's like, Yondu has like sick abs. It was like, nice. The other one, it was always Agent 13. Agent 13 has great abs. Oh, welcome, Frankenstein. This is the stream. We dig holes. Also, we had a prediction that just finished. Let's figure out what this is. Ooh, okay, okay. Could still be viable. Ah, so close. Only 3. There's also Big Bertha from the Great Lakes Avengers. I don't know this. Ah. This look. Why does Wikipedia look weird now? Wikipedia looks weird now. New desktop design. It looks weird now. At first, I thought it was like, it's like, is it on mobile? No. Is it in, like admin edit mode or something? Like, it's, what was throwing me on it is because they put the sidebar, they sort of like, it's ended up with a very weird empty margin on the right-hand side that I don't like. And that's there because they have the floating table of contents on the left, which didn't look like a table of contents. Like, it just sort of... And you can, like, hide it, move to sidebar. Yeah, but then you end up with, like, this gigantic blank space on the right side. And it just feels like everything got, like, pushed together. And the contents on the side didn't look like a table of contents when I first glanced at it. There we go. The margins have muscled in or something. Yeah. Yeah. Now, how does it look like if I open that up and like, because right now I have it in like a full screen window. If I shrink it down, what are we looking at here? If you shrink the window, like if you're not running it as a full size window, it doesn't look as bad. I mean, the table of contents ends up, it ends up doing the thing where you got 2 scroll bars. You have a scroll bar for the table of contents and then a scroll bar for the actual window. Now, Welcome to criticizing Wikipedia design from somebody who actually doesn't design websites, so what does she know? There have been substantially worse redesigns of sites over the years. This is true. It's still recognizably Wikipedia. I think what I think would make a difference is if the table of contents, even if the table of contents was like boxed or something like that, have it in a text box so it stands out as a table of contents a little bit more. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that this just feels initially bad due to long familiarity. I have actual, like, legitimate criticisms of it. It's not the worst. I mean, okay, let's be honest. As far as wiki sites go, it will never be worse than fandom. It's not functionally broken like many redesigns. This is true. I think the biggest thing for me was just the fact that the table of contents kind of disappeared into the design for me. And I think having that feels like it needs to be more visually distinct on the page. Yeah, the body text feeling, even if it's not necessarily squeezed, feeling squeezed. They also claim to have consulted widely with many diverse users. If taken at face value, then maybe it does work better for non-English languages. That's it. Yeah, I suppose that's another thing to consider, is that there are probably a lot of languages that the old design kind of just didn't work for. You know what's interesting? If you compared that with another wiki site or any other website, the text in the middle would probably end up being about the same width as text on some other website. You know, with the window at the same size. It's just every other website on the internet would be sticking banner ads on either margin of it. And so it's not just a giant empty margin that feels kind of weird. I don't want Wikipedia to do that. I'm glad they don't. But I think that's like, if you did a side-by-side comparison, I think you would probably find that the actual like text block is probably around the same size. Ow. I do think the floating table of contents will eventually make navigation much nicer. Oh yeah, that was definitely a big issue with the floating table of content. The idea of having it floating, I really like. That I very much like, because that was always a huge pain in the ass. Is having to go all the way back up to the top to go to the table of contents to go somewhere else. That was always a pain in the butt. Oops. Ugh. Late stream. I don't know how much of Brave New Phase I'm going to be able to hang out for. I'm quite tired. I realized BNF was starting late tonight, so I just made my tea, and now I have to try and not drink it, so I'll have it for tunes. Ah. Always a challenge. Don't worry. We've until Kathleen is ready, we still have Hole. Praise Hole. Pretty sure that's against TOS. All right. Well, I guess we're definitely going to be finishing this chunk on Tuesday then. Oops. Have a broken block in it. Ah, there we go. Perfect. All right. Yeah, definitely finishing this on Tuesday. That'll be good. That'll be 37. 37 chunks, chat. Which we're basically neck and neck with James now. He was doing a bunch of other building stuff, and I spent a whole lot of weeks where I was not working on the Cathedral, and we actually managed to catch up. I think he's going to finish chunk 37 on Monday, and I'm going to finish mine on Tuesday, so I'm technically a tiny bit behind. But, you know, generally feel good about it. Considering he streams more than I do, not by a lot, but he usually streams for 3 hours a day, and I usually go, you know, average about 2.5-ish a day. All right. Yep. Happy with it. Still happy with it. Competitive amateur chunk punching. No. Hold on. James and I are literally the only 2 professional chunk punchers. Please, don't take that away from us. All right. I'm excited to probably never use this enchantment area. What do we have to enchant? One's the pro. You have to fight it out. All right. So, thank you everybody for hanging out. This was a fun stream. Really, really happy with how the enchanting area turned out. I think it ended up looking really good. It gives a lot of. I'm so happy the inside of the cathedral is starting to come together now. Now that we have the exterior mostly done, so excited about it. But for now, let's stop this. And we are going to send you over to Brave New Faves. I need to get the window open again. I apparently closed it at some point. All right, here we go. Brave New Faves. Brave New Faves is my friend Kathleen. She does a pirate radio show where she plays new and interesting music that she enjoys and you might also enjoy. So head on over there, say hi to her, put some doots in chat, and I will see you all again on Tuesday where we finish off this chunk. So, good night, chat.